Hi, everyone. Welcome to our deep dive on automation and orchestration with Okta workflows. I'm David Shackelford, and I lead product management for workflows here at Okta. I'm also joined by Nate Callahan, who leads our workflows ecosystem strategy, as well as the rest of the workflows product team who are here on live chat to take questions. So to set the stage a little bit, you're all here because you're trying to deliver great and secure identity experiences for your users and businesses. Whether they're salespeople, developers, security engineers, teachers, lawyers, business partners, or anyone else, they all need access to the right apps and resources, control over their information, and secure experiences that just get out of the way and help them accomplish their goals. But as we all know, identity is really complex. There are so many different touch points, from users to apps to roles and systems to manage. Every organization has its own set of specific policies and processes, and it's hard to balance these competing pressures of employee experience and efficiency, but also robust security and compliance. And the stakes are higher than ever. Frustrating technology not only impacts employee happiness and retention, but also productivity. That left numbers from an Adobe survey on the state of digital work, where it found nearly a third of respondents had actually left a company because of technology frustrations. And the right is from our State of Digital Trust report, where nearly half of respondents reported permanently stopping using a service or a product because of a breach or a misuse of data. So how can companies succeed in this complex landscape? Well, having a solid identity platform is a good start, but we really think automation is the key to staying ahead of these needs of the business. By getting manual work out of the process, IT can scale, employees can get faster access to what they need, and companies can maintain the right security and compliance posture. And that's what the Okta Workflows team thinks about day in, day out, and probably many of you do as well. So in this session, we'll cover three different things within this landscape of automation. First, we'll be going through a high-level overview of the Workflows platform and the amazing customer creativity and success we've seen to date. Next, we'll get into a demo from the amazing Nate to show off innovation and progress over the past year and some of the new capabilities that we've launched. And then finally, we'll get into roadmap and what's ahead. For the new folks, I hope this is a good overview of workflows and how it can help your business. For our longtime users, thank you for the use of the platform. Thank you for all your amazing feedback. And I hope we can illuminate some new opportunities and show you a little bit of where we're going. In either case, as we go through, I'd invite you to consider, what do you want to automate in your business and how can Okta support you in doing so? So let's get into it with a workflows overview. Tying back to earlier, when you're trying to deliver these great outcomes in a complex environment, without automation, it's hard to stay ahead of all this rising complexity. And so we built workflows to tackle these challenges. This is a no-code platform that enables teams from IT to security to governance and beyond to automate action across all of their apps, integrate new tools, and ultimately scale to meet the needs of the business. With workflows, rather than a manual ticket or a custom script, teams are building no-code logic to automate end-to-end scenarios like this example onboarding flow. Flows start from a variety of different events in Okta or third-party tools, and are then chained together with logic functions and connectors to top SaaS apps to basically do anything you want. And that is exactly what our customers do. Now, we've been humbled to see thousands of Okta customers adopt workflows over the past several years, and many of them tell us about the benefits it brings to their business. From Slack saving hundreds of hours a year in IT, to the French Red Cross getting temporary account creation down to the order of minutes, or Peloton cutting their account management ticket time in half. It's great to see the way these teams have been able to scale and get more efficient with workflows. Now, some of my favorite customer stories are on that slide, but one recent one I particularly like is Sonos. Before Sonos worked with us, they relied on a mix of 5 different vendors for provisioning and identity, with a lot of hard-coded rules and custom code. This left them with provisioning jobs that would create duplicate accounts or fail to run at all. And all the different tools in the mix made it super hard to determine where the problem was when things needed to be troubleshooted. Now, I worked in IT in a past life and was in troubleshooting situations just like this one, and it was really painful. Unlike me, though, Sonos was able to streamline this quite a bit using workflows, using Skim, and using Okta's HR as a source solution, which was really great. What I really like, though, is beyond these lifecycle management problems, they went beyond to solving other problems with workflows, managing privileged accounts for their admins, simplifying MFA resets, getting deeper into Slack automation and channel management. And thinking back to their story, I think their product lead for workflows actually referred to it as like a set of little identity Legos that you can use to solve any identity use case. So very fun to see. And it's not just these broad customer journeys we love, it's also the individual feedback from all of our builders. We conducted our first ever large-scale builder survey this past summer, and one of the questions asked builders to write a letter to the Workflows product team. Here are some of the letters you shared. We love every time we get one of these to celebrate them internally, talk about it on Slack, especially ones like the middle one where people are actually able to grow their responsibilities and careers through Workflows. And don't worry, we also get lots of constructive feedback. You all are very, very candid, and we'll actually share some of those as well as we get to the roadmap section. But for now, let's check out a demo and some of what's new in Workflows. And for that, I'm going to hand you over to my colleague, Nate.
Hi everybody, I'm Nate, and I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the product while showing some of the new features we've released in the past few months. So here we land on the Workflows homepage, which has videos, resources, sample flows, and just about everything you need to get started building. And on this page, we have a new feature called Solution Packs. Solution Packs are pre-built and customizable workflow templates bundled together by use cases like IT operations, seamless O365 integration, and security operations, which is our newest category. As you can see here, each solution pack provides a number of different subcategories, and choosing one of these subcategories narrows down a list of templates by even more specific use cases. Each of these use cases contains a set of templates that can be easily downloaded to your tenant and implemented with just a few mouse clicks. When we click into the Remotely Lock All Kanji Devices template, you can see quite a bit about what this particular template does, including setup instructions and screenshots for each of the 5 included flows. Downloading the template to your Workflows tenant is also really easy. In the Workflows platform, all flows run from left to right and start with an event or trigger card. Events can be anything from receiving a request from another application, like a webhook, to a scheduled flow, like a cron job, or even a manually triggered flow like in delegated flows, which we'll talk about next. In this case, we're looking at the suspicious activity reported event as the trigger of this flow. Once a flow has been triggered, the flow can take any number of actions in a third-party system, and we have quite a few out-of-the-box connectors to help make that easier for you. In this case, you can see we have the Kanji List Devices card that will accept a user's email address and return a list of devices belonging to that user. A couple of side notes here. Use cases like the suspicious activity reported flow are exactly the scenario we're trying to prioritize with low latency flows. And this Kanji connector was built by Kanji themselves using the new Workflows Connector Builder functionality. You'll hear more about both of these from David in just a few minutes. All of these templates can be customized any way you need, including swapping out the Kanji card with another MDM platform. But Kanji is a fantastic MDM, so I'm going to go ahead and use this template as is. While this particular flow doesn't have any function cards, you can see that we provide a long list of functions for things like branching logic, if-else for example, error handling, like try-catch, and data manipulation to ensure that you can format your flow data correctly for whatever applications your company uses. Probably one of the best things about the platform is that all of the cards and fields you see are drag and drop to make building your flows as easy as possible. All flows can be easily tested, as I'll demonstrate with Emily here, and any data running through the flows can be viewed as the flow executes in real time. Additionally, the flow history for both parent and helper flows is available for every execution. One of the cool things about this particular template is that it comes with a flow all set up for delegated flows, which is what I want to show you next. Delegated flows is a new workflow event type that allows you to expand the power of workflows by delegating the execution of a flow or flows to other admins without giving them direct access to the workflows console. This lets you securely scale Okta administration and empower other admins on your team to leverage the power and simplicity of workflows. Once I've created, saved, and turned on my delegated flow, I can use the new Custom Admin Roles functionality to create a resource set that contains the flow and assign it to one of my custom roles so it can be triggered by anyone with that assigned role. In this case, I'm going to create a new resource set called Delegated MDM Administration. I'm going to find that flow I just created and add it to the resource set. Then I'm going to assign that resource set to my delegated flow admin role and add my coworker George as a member. Switching over to George's profile, I can now see a new item in the left nav for delegated flows without access to the workflows console itself. And when I click into it, I see a list of flows that George can now execute. In this case, there is just a single flow from that remotely lock all kanji devices template we downloaded a minute ago. Now George can choose to run this flow by adding the email address of the kanji user, Jordan in this case, into the provided text box and clicking the run button. And in just a few seconds, we can see that the flow has been triggered and that its execution was successful. So now let's switch back to our super admin profile and take a look at the execution history of the flow, and we can indeed see that the flow was executed successfully, and there is a history of each execution. And while we're in flow history, let's take a look at another new feature called searchable flow history. Previously, in order to find a specific execution, users had to click through each item here in the right panel like I just demonstrated. To make finding a specific execution or executions easier, we introduced a new quick search text box as shown using Joe here. We've even added highlighting to the flow canvas to make it clear exactly where in the flow the search term exists. Additionally, we've expanded the date filtering capabilities so you can isolate flows within any date-time range. But returning to our original template, let's say that after doing all of that testing, the template just isn't quite what I was looking for. This last one is on the smaller side, but I think it'll make a lot of you happy. Longtime users know the pain of deleting a folder with multiple flows. Each flow had to be individually deleted before deleting the folder. Now this is much easier. No need for all that hassle, just confirm the deletion by entering the name of the folder and click delete. That's it for the demo. Thanks everybody, and happy building.
Awesome, Nate. Thank you so much for that great demo. So now let's get into a little bit of what's ahead for workflows. Our vision is to enable teams to easily and securely automate their most complex identity problems. And when we build our roadmap, we invest in 3 distinct pillars. First, unlocking new use cases on the Okta platform. We do this through connectors, through templates, and through working very closely alongside other Okta teams. Next is supporting our builders with better tools to author and manage complex flows. And then finally, growing an ecosystem so our customers and partners can build amazing things and share what they've built. So let's get on to use cases. So on the use case front, as you long-timers know, we started with lifecycle management way back in 2020, and we've been expanding since. Last year, we introduced some targeted use cases around B2B and business partner apps, and this year the focus is really on governance and security. Looking into the years ahead, we'll be looking at integrations with the Customer Identity Cloud, as well as privileged access management and more. But let's get into a couple of these near-term use cases. So governance. You probably saw pieces of this in the keynote, but we've been working super closely with this team to help bring workflows-powered automation to this problem space. On the right there, you can see an example of access requests, where we're using workflows to power downstream fulfillment when access is requested. And we're also plugged into access certification, because effective governance doesn't stop at just knowing who has access to which apps and resources. You really need that automated action to maintain and update that access. We'll be getting into additional use cases in the years ahead, but we've already heard from Okta Identity Governance customers that workflows is a big part of the value in that solution, and they're really liking what they're able to automate using it. As you probably also saw in the keynote, we're now also pushing into security. In fact, if you're a Workflows user today, in your tenant, you can find a security solution pack with ready-to-use templates for top security use cases. We're not stopping there, though. We're going to be going deeper with user risk signals, supporting more effective security incident response, and integrating with other tools in that toolchain. And of course, we continue to grow our connector catalog with new integrations across lifecycle management, HR, mobile device management, and more. And in our quarterly roadmap updates, you'll see this catalog increase as well. But now let's get onto the platform. So in that same builder survey, our customers, you all, shared lots of valuable and important feedback about how we need to grow to support you automating more and more. You can see a couple direct quotes on the right there, and we get many more with similar sentiments. And when we put this survey together with all the great Okta ideas that the community submits, and with all of the individual customer conversations that we have over the year, a few key themes and top requests emerge. They really boil down to 1, enabling more people to build, 2, enabling people to safely and confidently build more and more, and then 3, enabling them to safely manage what they've built. And so we'll get into the roadmap here for the platform and how we're growing it to support these needs and more. First up, as we speak, the team is hard at work on more granular access control, role-based access control for workflows. This will enable more people to safely build on workflows and also enable admins to lock down sensitive flows like those around security or HR. Now, along with this, which I hope is very good news to all of our power users, we'll also be introducing subfolders, which will not only help with configuring access management, but also generally with organizing large numbers of flows. You'll be able to manage permissions in the Okta admin console, use both out-of-the-box and custom roles, and just generally get a lot more granular control over who can build and manage and run which workflows resources. Now, following RBAC will be version management, which is all about making it easier to build and manage more complex flows with the confidence that if something goes wrong, you can easily revert to a known good version. We'll have in-app experiences around this, similar to what you might find in Confluence or a Google Doc around tracking changes. And we'll also be looking at how to deepen our integration to GitHub and other sources of truth. Another big area of investment is supporting flows with specific latency requirements, such as inline hooks. For example, if you have workflows handling a hook as part of self-service registration, it's really important that it runs predictably and quickly to preserve the user experience and prevent timeouts. Look out for more details here as this rolls out to customers later this quarter. And in addition to all of these different features, we're also taking a more holistic look at the designer experience overall. This was also an area that you all shared tons of great feedback in our builder survey. I think my favorite was the person that told us that they bought a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor just for working with the horizontally laid out workflows UX. Now, horizontal versus vertical isn't the only thing we're looking at or thinking about, but we're really trying to go deep and consider the things that our builders need in the long term as they continue their journey with workflows. And then finally on to ecosystem. The big announcement here is the GA of our new connector builder, which enables customers and ISVs alike to build full connectors entirely in the no-code workflows designer. This is great for connecting to internal APIs and custom apps, and also means faster growth of the connector catalog, ultimately benefiting everyone using workflows. Beyond here, it's not just connectors. We're looking at how to make it easier to do the same thing with templates, so you can easily build, share, publish full use cases on workflows. And that's ecosystem. So we covered quite a bit across these 3 sections, and I'm sure you have questions about what else we're thinking about. So here is a little sneak peek. Now you'll notice that these don't have dates or sequencing attached right now, but these are some of the areas that our team is thinking about in use cases, platform, connectivity, and ecosystem. And as we move through our regular quarterly roadmap updates, we'll be adding more detail on what's coming when, and of course, continuing to adjust based on what we learn from our builders. So to close out, whether you're new to workflows or a veteran, I'd leave you with the question of what do you want to automate in your business and how can workflows support you doing that? If you're an existing Okta customer, you should have 5 free flows to start building. And if not, feel free to learn more at the link below or talk to your Okta representative. And of course, if you've got feedback for us product folks, we love talking to our customers. Drop us a line at this email address. With that, for the Workflows product team and the whole Workflows team, I'm David Shackelford. Thank you so much for your time today.